Very good. We have a quorum. We'll call to order the Land Clearance Redevelopment Authority for the City of St. Louis for its regularly scheduled meeting on May 27, 2025. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Evans, not present. Commissioner Jones, not present. Commissioner Koenig,
Present.
Commissioner Spencer,
Present.
and Chair McBride.
Present.
You have a quorum with 3 present and 2 absent.
Thank you. We'll take up the first item on our agenda, the approval of minutes from our meeting held on May 13, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. All right, Zach, we're just going to take this agenda from the top. Or is there anything else we need to be cognizant of?
No, we're going straight down the agenda. You rearranged.
All right. Then we'll take up item number 25, LCRA 10931, relating to 1039 North Grand. Zach, will you walk us through that, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, commissioners. This resolution is declaring 1039 North Grand and 36 through 3620 Finney Avenue to be blighted, approving a blighting study and redevelopment plan for that mentioned area. This is a very exciting project. We have a vacant building, several vacant lots, and a vacant church currently at the site. It's 5 parcels, a little under an acre, in the Covenant Blue Grand Center neighborhood. The buildings will be demolished, and a 15,000 square foot VA clinic that will be dermatology and kidney dialysis for VA veterans will be at the site. The site was acquired for a little over $1 million. Planned construction will be over $13 million, and we support 10 years at 90%. We have Kelly Young from the Russell Group to speak on this project, and also Andrew Knott from our team to speak over the scorecards. So whatever order you would like to go in, Commissioner Chair, please advise.
Thank you. Ms. Young, would you like to add any further color to what Zach laid out for us?
Thank you so much, commissioners and board here. Russell Construction is a party to a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business. We have a joint venture, mentor-protege agreement, and so it's a really great opportunity in what I would call for Russell Construction in our hometown. We entered the marketplace of St. Louis as a general contractor in, if you can believe it, 2020. June of 2020 was my first time in St. Louis as a Russell Construction employee, as we had started establishing our footprint as a general contractor with about 75 employees in the greater St. Louis area. But it's really the work that we're doing with the VA here as a part of our mentor protege service disabled veteran owned small business, where that the offerer or the applicant here is Co-Harbor Russell Group. And as a team, we will be the owners and lessors to the VA for this building on Grand. It's such a great fit for so many buckets, in that it's the improvement of neighborhoods that are adjacent to the John Cochran campus. And we know that there's so much investment that's been pledged by Congress for improvements for the physical plant at John Cochran, as well as the type and expansion of care to our veterans in the greater St. Louis area. So I guess I'm here to answer any questions about our development or about us, and definitely to express my appreciation. These, you know, I know it's what your board is built to do, but it's really these public-private partnerships that are able to push deals that just are too sticky to pencil. You know, it doesn't make sense to spend $1.1 million for land on this corner. But we all see the vision and the improvement to this property with, you know, your partnership. So,
Thank you,
but
Kelly.
again, very happy to answer any details about us or the project.
And then what is Co-Harbor? You said that's a partner of yours?
So Co-Harbor Russell Group, that's the applicant for this project. And Co-Harbor Russell Group is the developer and the owner of the facility once it's completed. And so in the competitive VA world, there's preference given to veteran-owned small businesses. This opportunity or this proposed project is the result of a competitive bid process that the team out of Leavenworth solicits for this particular type of clinic. And so we were competitively chosen of the other locations and proposers to deliver this project. So Co-Harbor Russell Group is the applicant, will be the owner of the facility, and then is the landlord to the VA who will provide the services in the building.
Okay, I understand that. And you're stating that you're Russell Group with, I believe, somebody else.
Yeah, so
Who's the
I
somebody
am
else?
Co-Harbor Russell Group. We are a LLC that is 51% owned by a service disabled veteran and then 49% owned by Russell Government Group. So we are a joint venture. And it just so happens the principals of the joint venture are also the owners of Russell Construction, a general contractor in St. Louis.
Okay, so relationship is already pre-existing. Got it.
Correct, yes.
And then your tenant, then you're going to be leasing to the VA as part of its expansion of the Cochrane facility. Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Any other questions from the commissioners for Ms. Young?
Ms. Young, this is Sean Spencer. Do you have a schedule on the construction, and maybe you could give a little bit more background on your team's experience building these types of facilities and also just managing?
Yeah, happy to. Thank you. So what we would expect, we have not executed the lease with the VA yet. As you can imagine, we received the draft lease from the VA in January, and those lease terms lock in what the prices are. So the rental rate was established in January, and due to the changes in administration, some of the constraints on the VA that are outside of their control as a result of the current administration, that's created a delay for them to execute our lease with us. Quite frankly, the reason we reached out to your team is in that same span of time, there's a lot of constraints in the marketplace. Obviously the concern of tariffs and how we approach this, but also in our investigation of the site, we know that there are a number of just costs in the current environment that create a situation where we need assistance before we sign this lease with the VA. We are expecting within the next 30 days to be in a final format where we're ready, 30 to 45 days, where we would be ready to lock in with the VA. And we're working with Enterprise Bank locally. We've got their piece of the financing worked out. We've got our equity stack in place. We're ready to go. But this piece of the incentive program, it's truly it could be a factor in us not signing the lease. But once that lease is signed, let's say everything goes well in the next 30 to 45 days, we would execute the lease with the VA. We would begin the site work, and in tandem while we are performing remediation, demolition and getting that site pad ready. We'd be working in tandem with the VA on the finalization of their interior design. And so what I would anticipate is you would see us going vertical over the winter, and then it would be about another 10-month construction process. So if we were able to be at a place where we closed, let's call it July 1st, and maybe that's too soon, maybe we call it July 31st, we would be complete in 12 to 14 months.
Okay. And the experience in your team with these types of facilities?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of the question instead of looking down at my notes. Thank you. So we just completed a facility in Pennsylvania that we delivered in June. Looks very similar to this, and be happy to send you the real photos instead of looking at the looking at the beautiful renderings provided by Oculus. Again, another St. Louis-based firm. 2 years ago, we completed a VA dental clinic in Knoxville, Tennessee, with Oculus as our design partner. Under our joint venture, Mentor Protege, we completed a clinic, in Baraboo, Wisconsin, very similar in size, but a little bit different in mission, where that was more of an outpatient clinic. So it had more of a general practice type offering in Baraboo, Wisconsin. And again, I definitely have, we have the past performance that's very stellar with the VA, and very happy to send you a statement of qualifications if I missed that in our packet, to just kind of talk about the how and the what we've been doing in this space since 2012.
Thank you. Just two quick other questions. I know that the building facing North Grand will be demolished. The church will also be demolished as well?
Yeah, that's correct. That when we look at that that center lower photo that says today with the white building,
Yes.
when you look at that on Google Earth, it's got the blue tarp over the roof. That would be demolished as well.
Okay. And then the brick line is also running, is that running on the west side or the east side of that street, do you know?
So if we're talking about Finney,
I think it comes up North Grand. I
Which
might be-
day of the week is it, Sean?
What's that?
It's moving around a little bit right there.
There's something to point out. I mean, this investment is going to be great for that corner. It's obviously a high importance corridor, and you know, that brick line is also going to enhance that investment as well. So Rob, he's the king of parking and infrastructure. So
Mr.
I like
Orr,
that.
would you shed some light on Commissioner Spencer's question, please?
I would a little bit of light. So the northern section of the brick line comes from down North Grand, from Fairground Park down to Cass Avenue. At Cass Avenue, it goes 1 block west to Spring, and at Spring it continues south all the way down, really past Interstate 64, going under the highway, and then it winds back around down to Tower Grove Park. So that's the current alignment as I understand it.
thank you. Thanks, Ms. John.
Very good. Any other questions for Ms. Young? Seeing none, I believe that Mr. Knapp was going to walk us through the community impact report and the financial impact report.
Yep. So community benefits scorecard here, we got a total of 60 points, so it's pretty high score. Most of this comes from the geography, so it is located in Economic Justice Index Area 1, 30 points for that. It will produce some jobs, 15 to 20. They probably will be high-paying jobs, so could have potentially met the quality jobs category, but the VA doesn't release specific wage guidelines until later, so we didn't really have anything to score that on. Healthcare is a target industry of ours in the city, so 5 points for that. Great transit access on our highest frequency bus route. And I could foresee, users of this space taking advantage of that. We got a WBE developer as well as veteran owned, so 5 points. The North Central plan, which this does fall in the boundary of, calls for the creation and support of a health and wellness district, obviously supporting the VA, and this very explicitly does that. 5 points, and then another 4 points for the total investment, which is around 14.5 million all in, with about six-ish million of tenant build out costs. So high scoring project, a lot of value and benefit here to the community directly in this area, and really broadly as well. So questions about this scorecard, I'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, we can go on to the fiscal analysis.
Any questions for Andrew on the community benefit scorecard? Let's look at the fiscal analysis, Andrew.
Alrighty, can we go to the next slide, Sarah? Oh, I think we went back to the same one. Oh,
Andrew, I didn't see that in my packet, and I was looking for it, so I don't know if
I think we
fed it
may.
directly to. Go ahead.
I think we shared those with Sarah earlier. But if you don't have it, Sarah, I can share mine really quick.
Yeah, let's make sure Andrew has the ability to share his screen, please.
Alrighty. Do you
There
all
we go.
see?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Alrighty. Okay. So sorry about that. 15,000 square foot medical clinic. So fairly high cost per square foot, mainly because of the very capital intensive and specific build out that's required of medical in general, and then also for this use in particular. So we modeled this at 10 years at 90%. The potential MWBE impacts are total hard costs of $12 million, so nearly 3 million to minority owned firms and 1.3 million to women owned firms, so a lot of benefit there. Developer returns are relatively modest, in at least in the way that we model it here. But it's slightly different than when we compare it to the average, the market averages that we pull from our external database. So, in speaking with Kelly and the team, if they do execute this lease, this is a fairly, stable agreement for, I think she mentioned that usually these leases end up lasting 24 plus years. So, there's, sort of lowered risk in some ways compared to what we show in our data. So, but still fairly tight margins where incentives are certainly justified. We calculate the incentive value to be around a net present value of $800,000. There's benefits to the city over the 10-year period of $150,000, climbing up to nearly $600,000 in the 20-year period. Schools in a 20-year period, nearly $1.2 million in tax revenue generated, and more to the other taxing districts as well, obviously. Can we go to the last slide, Sarah? Or wait, sorry, I forgot that I'm controlling now. I think maybe I'll just leave this up. And if there's more specific questions, I can help answer those as well.
This is the first time we're seeing this, Andrew. So let me.
Andrew, can you blow that up a little, please?
Yeah, let's see if I can. So taxes will be, average of $16,000 a year during the abatement period, and then we'll climb, pretty dramatically to 150 plus thousand after that. So, do you guys see this well enough now? Can't exactly tell
Yes.
on my screen. Okay.
And the current taxes right now is about 3,000, correct, Andrew?
Right.
Very good. Any questions for Andrew on the financial impact report?
Those are the kind of graphs we'd like to see.
All right, thank you, Andrew. And Ms. Young, I did have a few other questions for you, if you don't mind. With regard to this project, are you seeking any other incentives from the city or the state?
We have not, no. You know, and I guess shame on me, you know, if there's a brownfield program that we would be eligible for, we have not researched that.
But you don't, nothing else on this financial impact report is something you're going to belatedly apply for. Okay.
No, we don't
And-
have any plans unless there's, you know, unless your office tells us we're leaving money on the table by reaching out to the state. We didn't have any expectation that we fit in any of the other programs. You know, the weird thing is we're not the employers. And so we had looked at some things that were based on job creation that we weren't
Right.
eligible for.
Correct. All right. Any other questions for Ms. Young from the commissioners?
Chair, I'd like to point out that there's a typo on the background. It says historic tax credits. There is no historic tax credits being applied to this project. So,
All right. Thank you for that clarification. If it's in the background, I don't believe that the resolution needs to be amended. Is that correct? Olivia? Who's in the room right now?
That would be
so
correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, then hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion to approve resolution 25 LCRA 10-931.
So moved, Spencer.
I second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we have previous roll, or excuse me, we have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Kane,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes. Chair McBride, you all are freezing on our end, so we're gonna call in. So
We
just
will
hold
wait for
on
you to
a
do
minute
that.
for.
In the meantime, we wish you the best, Miss Young.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your collaboration and the leadership from LCRA. Your staff is phenomenal, and we're really excited to go to work on this project together. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will give our boardroom a moment to call in. But Peter Phillips, I'm putting you on notice. We're coming for you next.
Can you all hear us now?
We can, yes.
Good.
Are we ready to proceed on our end?
Yes.
Very good. At this time, we'll take up resolution 25 LCRA 10-932 relating to a bid for security at 615 Olive. This looks like it'll be related to our next resolution as well. Peter, will you walk us through this, please?
Can do. Good afternoon, commissioners. So resolution 25 LCRA 10932, as stated, was the requesting authorization to solicit bids for security services at 615 Olive and to temporarily enter into a contract for services, the security services with Citizens Investigation LLC or Citizens Guard. Now, the resolution, again, it's seeking for both. The idea would be to enter into a temporary contract with Citizens Guard, which is currently providing 24/7 security services at this site via a contract with the building division. What we are looking to do is, as we are doing acquisitions, and if the commissioners remember, not too long ago, LCRA actually bought into the garage and the surface parking lot adjacent to this building as part of the proceedings of taking control of this entire property. So it also is a part of taking control. It's also taking on the holding costs, and one of them would be security for the facility, so that we are transitioning and taking control of that from the building division. Now, we will have to go about doing our own procurement, which is why we're seeking the authority to solicit bids for this service. But in the meantime, we don't want to leave the site unattended, so we were going to utilize the security services firm that the building division did during the procurement process. The rates are, and the scope of services is a mirror of what the building division had gone through with their agreement with Citizens Guard. And so we were just taking the terms almost word for word from that, of course, with the inclusion of additional requirements and clauses, from our source of funds, which for this is an ARPA fund. It's for the land assemblage and pre-development ARPA fund that we would be paying these holding costs for. And so we added the terms necessary for that in this contract. And again, we anticipate the temporary contract being no longer than 4 months, and that's based on a month for solicitation, a month for the evaluation, negotiations, and contract. And then now, while Citizens Investigation and Citizens Guard is more than welcome to respond to the RFP itself, in the event that there is a transition in service providers, there is some leeway there for the actual transition and hiring of new guards in case a new firm is the one that is recommended and selected. So while the bidding process itself will only actually takes, for award a couple of months, there's that leeway in there for the transition in case it needs to happen. And so, like I said, the rates and scope are identical to what the building division had previously procured. We're just basically assuming these services on a temporary basis until we can go through our procurement process. At this time, I will go ahead and open it up for any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Peter. Is Citizens Guard performing the security currently?
Correct. Yes. And the current service level is they do have 2 guards and a vehicle 24/7.
Okay. And what did Wayland Security do for us previously? They're in paragraph 2 of the action item of the resolution.
So that actually appears to be, if I am looking at that here, sorry, I skipped to the other resolution as well, because Wayland is related to the next resolution. So that should
Okay.
say Citizens Investigation LLC, not
Which it
Wayland.
does in the next line. So Wayland just needs to be stricken from this resolution. Would that be accurate?
Yes, correct.
And so we understand from our other buildings that we provide, that we contract for security, that roughly 60,000 a month is market now.
So that depends on the level of service, which is why I mentioned the 2 guards and vehicle. The rates that are being paid out per guard are in line with what is being paid out in other other sites that we have security services. It's just that this site has more guards and services, which is bringing it up to that $60K a month.
Okay, very good. And then they were out there every day prior to the construction that went up and down 7th Street. I haven't seen them on the west side of the building during my walking around downtown. But all right, any questions for Peter from the commissioners? Mr. Orr.
Yeah, I will just add that we do get a shift report from every shift that from one of the guards working that shift. So we basically are getting three reports a day. So I do know they're on site. I'm not sure. I will follow up with them to find out where they may be hanging out while 7th Street was being paved.
Yeah, because I've got a pretty good line of sight. We can't see it with the reflection, but I'm looking right onto 7th and right onto the railroad exchange out that window. So usually I can see them at the north.
Yeah, I know sometimes they're on Olive Street because they're also keeping track of the parking garage
Correct.
right there as
Correct.
well. So
no, I appreciate it. I appreciate that they're making the reports and just don't know where they're at right now. But they don't need to, they're not reporting to me, they're reporting to you guys. Any other questions for, I see Commissioner Koenig's hand.
You said that for the interim agreement, it would be 24/7, and that's what they're contracted to provide right now is 24/7?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And the RFP is that a contract for how many months do you expect?
We'll probably go for the term of a year,
Okay.
with the option to renew at that time. And that'll line up as well with our current source of funding. Again, for this, there is going to be, for this one and the new contract, is going to be the ARPA funds. But then the ARPA funds will no longer be really an option after the end of September through December of next year. So at that time, we'll have to identify the next funding source and line it up with the option to renew.
Okay. But for now, for the first 12 months of the contract, the ARPA funds would be accessible.
Correct. Yeah, for this temporary
Okay.
contract, and then for the next one that we anticipate for the next
Right.
year. Yes.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
All right. Any further questions for Peter? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to amend, entertain a motion to, amend Resolution 25 LCRA 10932 to strike reference to Wayland Security in paragraph 2 of the requested action.
I so move to amend.
Second, request a previous rule.
Properly moved and seconded with a request for previous rule. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is amended. This time, I would entertain a motion to approve amended resolution 25-10-932.
I so move.
Second, request a previous rule.
And properly moved and seconded with request for previous rules or any objection to that request. Hearing none, the amended resolution is approved. All right, let's take up resolution 25 LCRA 10933 relating to 3940 Martin Luther King Drive.
All right, thank you again. And resolution 10933 is very similar to the previous, with the exception that it is actually at the 3940 Dr. Martin Luther King facility, or the Monarch. So a little bit more background on this one, but the extent is the same. We plan on soliciting an RFP for security services, the same. We do currently have Wayland and which also DBA as Garda World on site providing those services now. And actually previously LCRA also authorized and approved extending that work. But after further review and recommendations by compliance and legal, it was recommended that we actually, instead of extend permanently, we actually go back out to bid for purposes, again, of compliance and legal recommendations for future audits and et cetera. So in the meantime, while we do the bidding, we still need to maintain services. And so very similarly, we would like to contract temporarily with the current service provider, which in this case is Wayland DBA Garda World, to provide the 24/7 security services. And while we go out to bid, and it's the same background as the other resolution, which is, we have 4 months for those services. The services of the temporary contract is mirrored off of currently what is being provided now, which is one guard 24/7. And then we have a month for solicitation, a month for review, evaluation, negotiations, and contract, and then some buffer in there in the event that another firm is provided and there's a transition time for hiring and getting acquainted with the site. Same situation. We expect Wayland and encourage them to apply and respond to the solicitation, but the extra buffer is just in case another firm is selected. And so again, this is something that the prices are what were for this temporary contract or what are being paid now and are in line very similarly with what is being paid per hour to the guards for sites across the board, including the anticipated or the expected railway contract downtown.
Thank you, Peter. Any questions from the commissioners? I think we've covered this well, and again, the takeaway is not dissatisfaction with either current vendor, but we're just trying to change the pay org one and make the other subject to the appropriate audits in the other. That be accurate?
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yeah, we are with
Good.
with the previous one, it is like LCRA did not have a contract with them. LCRA has
Correct.
to do the procurement. This one, we've gone through it before, but we are going through it again, just to make sure that we have everything lined up, procurement policy wise.
Very good. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10-933.
So
I
moved.
so move.
Requested previous roll. Sorry, Lori.
John?
We'll get the timing going.
I know. Who do you want to take, Matt?
I'll take the motion by Commissioner Spencer and the second by Commissioner Koenig with a request for previous roll. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. Thank you, Peter. All right, coming back to Mr. Wilson, we're going to take up 25 LCRA 10-934 relating to taxable industrial revenue bonds for 1100 Veronica.
Yes, thank you, Chair. This project has been in front of this board a couple times already. First time in May 2024, where we passed the redevelopment plan and blighting study for Baden School. The address is 1100 Veronica Avenue. It's in the Baden neighborhood, 13th Ward. It's a long vacant school building formerly owned by the SLPS, St. Louis Public Schools. It's a very exciting new project moving forward. 50 affordable housing units, 16 one bedrooms, 23 two bedrooms, 11 three bedrooms. So it's getting rid of a vacant school, putting something on the tax rolls, and creating multi-bedroom units that's desperately needed in all of the city. So it's a great story. We approved a higher abatement, but this is a 10 at 75 followed by 550. The resolution last month was to designate developer. This one's allowing the issuance of the bonds and the redevelopment agreement tied to the bonds. We have Mark Speicherman to go over the documents if you have any questions on that or the process of the construction sales tax. If you have any questions on the project, myself or Andrew Knopp can answer those. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Mr. Spikerman, would you walk us through the taxable industrial revenue bonds portion of?
Yes, thank you, Chairman McBride. This resolution approves the bond documents and authorizes the bonds. The purpose of these bonds is to facilitate a sales tax exemption on construction materials used in the renovation of the building. The bonds are payable only from lease payments made by the redeveloper. They're not secured by any city taxes of any sort. And then similar to other projects, we will collect data on this as to how the sales tax exemption is used. Happy to answer any other questions.
We received any new material data to how the sales tax exemptions are used?
We're close to getting some data on some of the projects in the Grove area that are closing out, finishing construction. So we should have those relatively soon. We've seen some preliminary data already. They're just working through getting some more precise data. But from what we've seen preliminary wise, it's matching what we've seen before, which is very little construction materials purchased in the city of St. Louis.
Very good. Any questions from the commissioners for Mr. Spikerman? Thank you, Mark. Let's see, Zach. We're keeping the InterDesign turrets. Would that be correct in the redevelopment of this particular parcel?
Yes, everything stays the same. Well, nothing will be disturbed on the front facade.
Very good. Thank you much. Are there any further questions from the commissioners? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25, LCRA 10934.
I so move. Request for previous roll.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded with request for previous roll. Is there any objection to that request? Hearing none, the motion passes and the resolution is approved. All right, at this time, Olivia, so we would entertain a motion to go into executive session. If you would list the Missouri revised statute sections under which we would be proceeding, I would appreciate it.
Yes, that would be Missouri Revised Statute Section 610.021, subsections 1, 2, and 12.
Very good. I would entertain such a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Then moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
and Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes without voting yes.
Thank you. Now we will move into executive session. Very good. We have Commissioner Koenig. Our quorum has returned. At this time, I would entertain, let's see, we have Resolution 25 LCRA 10935 relating to the issuance of taxable industrial revenue bonds relating to 5467 through 5559 Delmar. Zach.
Yes, thank you, commissioners. I'll make this brief. This one was very similar to the Baden School resolution we just did before executive session. Last month, we assigned redevelopment rights to Delmar Divine Phase 2. This resolution will allow for issue of bonds and approval of form of bond documents. Just a kind of refresher of what the project is A1 units, affordable units from 1 to 3 bedrooms, and they'll be all low-income units. So be happy answering questions on the call to process sales tax. And I'm guessing we also have Larry Chapman if you have questions for the developer. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I think we had an update on the development, but yeah, if you have any more contacts you'd like to give, Mr. Chapman? But you're muted right now.
I thought you muted me. Sorry about that. Hey, anyway, the only context I can provide, this is just part of the capital stack to get the costs in line with what we need to be able to pay for the project. And it just allows us to save sales tax on construction materials, which, you know, by and large, if you drill down on it, don't impact the city. It impacts the location of the subcontractor that sells the material to the job. And usually it's not within the municipality itself. It's been my experience. And so we'd like to enjoy the savings that it causes. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 3.5% of the project cost, which is significant. And that's why the request is there.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Spikerman, any context to add for us?
No, as Zach mentioned, this is structured very similarly to the Baden School, and everything that was discussed during that time is relevant here.
Outstanding. Any questions from the commissioners on this resolution? Shaking heads no. Then at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 25 LCRA 10-935.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. May we roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Koenig,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer,
Aye.
Chair McBride.
Aye.
Motion passes with all voting yes.
Thank you. All right.
Thank
Do we have
you all very
anything in
much.
open agenda? Thank
Long
you.
day, but thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
A pleasure.
Aye. Thank you.
Take care. Take care. Do you have anything in open agenda?
No, sir. Thank you very much for the very long meeting, but I appreciate your time. So,
Very good. Then at this time, I would entertain a motion to, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
We've completed our agenda. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.